after a while, like if you're consistent with it and if you show like too much vulnerability to your girl, you're losing that sort of masculine frame. And for that reason, she'll start to slowly lose respect for you.
There's been a lot of recommendations I've seen in like pop psychology that one of the reasons why men are troubled is because they aren't speaking about their feelings too much or they're not vulnerable enough. And I found in a dating context that the opposite is true. I found that men are way too vulnerable. I'm watching Tekashi 6ix9ine snitch to the feds, and I'm watching Machine Gun Kelly wear a pink dress. I don't really think that the idea of vulnerability is that big of an issue. You talk about women aren't your therapist or your problem solver, and it's something that as a man, I think you find out the hard way. One of the other things that I found is that when I talk to these girls, whenever dudes in my circle are talking shit about me, the girls always tell me very quickly, these guys, they run their mouth too much, they snitch on themselves. And then this concept of like you like giving, this is another idea. It's like you're dating a girl and you tell her all your secrets. As soon as you guys break up, your secrets are for sale. I don't know if you guys recognize that. That's something that happens. And so this concept of being overly vulnerable and women not being your therapist. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. So a lot of women will say, like, I want you to tell me about your problems. You can speak to me. And sometimes when you're with the girl, like a lot of guys don't have like a big network or people they can go to their problems with. And so, the next best person is to obviously talk to my girl, pillow talk, but what men will come to find out is though she will probably accept and be okay with it like the first few times or if it's infrequently, but after a while, like if you're consistent with it and if you show like too much vulnerability to your girl, you're losing that sort of masculine frame. And for that reason, she'll start to slowly lose respect for you. Even though they say that they won't, I've seen in vast cases over time that they eventually do. And that leads to a loss of respect, a loss of confidence in you as a man, because, women look for their man to lead, provide, and just overall be that masculine rock. So if you're just consistently being emotionally vulnerable and using her as your therapist to problem solve. And let's keep in mind, women are not problem solvers. So even if you do come to her with problems, she's not going to give you advice or how to fix that problem. She's just going to empathize with you, right? And as a masculine man, you shouldn't want that anyway. I'm always looking for solutions to the problem. And so there are much better ways you can do that so that you can maintain that respect and boundary within relationships. Friends or networking groups, online social media, or even like online therapists. Like if you want to get an online therapist and have like private sessions or something, like do that. I would much rather do any of that before I start using my girl as my own personal therapist.
Yeah. One of the things I think where the mismatch comes is the concept where women have two sort of things that they need in order to sleep with a guy. They need attraction and comfort. Men do not need comfort. Men will have sex in a cardboard box. So because of that, women confuse the things and they say, I like a dad bod. Like, no, a dad bod makes you feel more comfortable because if a woman gets pregnant, men start to produce more prolactin and they get thicker, they get fatter. That idea of the man getting fatter means he's less likely to go out and cheat, and women feel more comfortable about that. When men show vulnerabilities to women, what you're doing is you're raising the comfort level, but because that's what she wants, but you're lowering the attraction level. When a girl says, let's stay in and watch Netflix instead of you going to the gym, you're raising the comfort level, but you're dropping the attraction level. When she's like, don't work so hard, even though this work is making me a lot of money, getting me a lot of status, and getting me attention from the opposite sex, what you're doing is when you stay in with her, you're raising the comfort level, but you're dropping the attraction level. And I feel like often, because you'll hear women say this, I want a man to buy me flowers. No, you don't. You want a man who you're attracted to buy your flowers, because they don't understand the two concepts. The flowers bring comfort, but there has to be attraction beforehand. And the reason why I believe this is because women cannot conceive of men they're not attracted to being attractive to them. Just like we as men were the same way. It's like a girl we're not attracted to, we think is a 4. It doesn't matter what she says or what resume she gives us, we're not going to be attracted to her. That's just the way it works. And so often women will confuse the two things and they'll say, I want more vulnerability. I was like, if you and I have a baby together and I hold my baby for the first time and I start crying, that's vulnerability you deserve. We have built something together. That's something that's totally understandable. It's these men on the first date who are just like expressing about the last 3 women who cheated on them. This type of like excessive levels of vulnerability. And therapists are saying that this is a good idea. This is a terrible idea. Don't pay attention to what therapists are telling you. Pay attention to the men who are crushing it with women and notice their behavior, and that is not indicative of their behavior.
Yeah, that's true. I wouldn't even think to tell a woman something like that. Like, I find that baffling that a guy would even say something like that. That's insane.
It
You
is
know,
crazy.
like purposely positioning yourself as um,
A victim.
uh, a victim. Yeah, exactly. Like that's wild to me.
Yeah.